So we got some pretty interesting news for you guys, including a new update for Final Fantasy XIV, patch 5.4, new information regarding Odin Valhalla Rising, and even a new anime MMORPG called World of Zenonia. Hello everyone, my name is Salman SK for Coffee and RPGs, where we cover the latest news, trends, and updates for the MMO and RPG gaming genre. And if you guys got your cup ready with your coffee or beverage of choice, of course, let's go over these news articles together. Cheers to you guys.
Consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification right next to it. Thank you.
And before we begin, there's a few things that I wanted to mention here to you guys really quick. And the first one comes from PCGamer.com, and it says that Star Citizen will let you fly over 100 ships for free for the next 2 weeks. I know there's a number of you out there that will not even touch this game for obvious reasons, more or less, but I am a backer and I'm very excited about this game. And I love the byline here that says, time to see what $300 million worth of spaceships looks like. And here's your chance if you wanted to do so. And in other free news, their next article here says that get Elite Dangerous and the World Next Door free on the Epic's Game Store. And I wanted to focus on Elite Dangerous because it's one of the most popular, or one of the more popular open world or open galaxy, in this case, sci-fi spacefaring RPGs out there, although it's not really an RPG. And if you're curious, yes, this free copy from the Epic Game Store will include the Horizons expansion, also for completely free. Next, let's head on to GamesRadar.com, and the first article here says that PlayStation boss unsure if Elder Scrolls and Starfield are coming to the PlayStation 5. And really quick, if you didn't know, this is because Microsoft actually purchased ZeniMax Media, and this includes everything that Bethesda owns as well, and that includes everything from Fallout to, again, Starfield and Elder Scrolls. And to give credit where credit is due, this comes from an interview with a Russian news agency called TASS, or TASS, I'm not exactly sure how they call it, but yeah, you know, it kind of sucks. Maybe Microsoft will allow it, maybe not, but at the end of the day, they're saying that it's out of their hands. But at the end of the day, I'm a huge fan of competition, and perhaps this will make Sony realize that they also have to increase their game to match the performance that we have with Elder Scrolls especially. But, you know, I get why exclusives kind of suck, but at the end of the day, you know, competition is a good thing for the consumer, in my opinion. And in their next article, it says that Dragon's Dogma 2 Street Fighter 6 reportedly leaked in a Capcom data breach. So definitely take everything with a grain of salt with this one, but the way this information was put forth, unfortunately, was because a bunch of hackers was able to obtain this information through ransomware. But if you are curious, Capcom did not give in to their demands, and so apparently we have this leaked information. And if this information is true, my most excited games that are in the list, if it's true, is definitely Dragon's Dogma 2. Was a huge fan of the first one, as well as the Resident Evil 4 remake, and Final Fight Remake 2. I grew up during the 90s, and the beat 'em up genre was definitely popular back then, and with the success of the last Streets of Rage installment that we had, I don't think it's really an accident that they decided, hey, we should also bring back the Final Fight franchise too. And in their next article, it says that Final Fantasy XIV patch 5.4 is called Futures Rewritten. So yeah, this patch is officially coming out in early December, so you definitely got something to look forward to for all the Final Fantasy XIV fans out there. But it also says that it will introduce a new main scenario quest that will begin to lay the groundwork for the next unannounced expansion, and will focus on the aftermath of patch 5.3's drastic conclusion. A new raid dungeon will also be added called Eden's Promise, as well as the Sorrow of Whirlit, I do apologize for mispronouncing that, which is a new mission in the Chronicles of the New Era questline that will also be added. And next, we head on over to MMOculture.com with some exciting news from the G-Star convention that is going on right now in South Korea. And the first article here says that Odin Valhalla Rising, more game details announced at the G-Star 2020 for the next-gen MMORPG. And as always, I do have the new trailer playing right now, and a few key features mentioned in this article includes that it will be will be available for both PC and mobile platforms, very similar to the way Genshin Impact does. And I think this sort of compromise, if you will, is definitely going to gain a lot of traction in the future years. And it does go on to say that while there is no technology given name, Lionheart Studio claim to have a lighting system which does not utilize Unreal Engine's 4's default settings, but a new lighting technique which is customized to express the sensibility of Nordic mythology. So to me, that just probably means they're using a heavily modified version of the Unreal Engine 4 right now. It was also teased that players might be able to face off Nordic gods such as Loki and a group known as the Void Legion. No launch date has been scheduled, unfortunately, during the G-Star 2020 presentation, other than the usual coming soon in 2021. Now, Zenonia, and I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, is a pretty well-established IP in Asia right now, but I never heard of it. But in their next article, it says that World of Zenonia, Gamevil, I believe, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing their studio's name correctly, but please forgive me if I'm not, reveals the first images of the new MMORPG. We actually don't know a whole lot about this game, but it does go on to say that it's based on the popular Zenonia IP, World of Zenonia will utilize a non-target combat system paired with a cartoon cel-shaded style of a 3D animation. Unfortunately, Gamevil also confirmed that it's only due out in 2022, so we still got a ways to go with this one. I have a sneaky suspicion that this game is going to be a mobile port, or at the very least, an MMO and PC port, like again, that I mentioned earlier with Genshin Impact. And judging from these screenshots, it looks very similar to Genshin Impact's aesthetics, and I kind of don't blame them. It's kind of like the new thing right now that a lot of companies are chasing, but anyways, moving on. Next, we head on over to MassivelyOP.com, and their first article here says that Aion North America adds Timeless Terrace, opens a new dungeon, and introduces Glyphs in the Unshackled Fate update. And this is a game that I didn't think I'd really cover much of this year, but for a game that's almost a decade years old, I'm really impressed that they're still going and seem to have a pretty awesome fan base that's willing to support this game throughout the years. So what will this update entail? Well, it does go on to say that the centerpiece of the update is a new Timeless Terrace, a level 80 area with a base, 10 border areas, and 3 sanctuaries. The new update has also added the Altar of Gale's Dungeon, introduced a new equipment type known as Glyphs that can resist certain forms of crowd control, and a Luminel's transformation feature that lets players transmute unwanted items for a chance at new rewards. And in their next article, it says that Last Oasis is launching on the Xbox Series consoles early in 2021, PC wipe slated for Sunday. And yes, that also means that it is cross-platform compatible, so regardless of whether you play on the PC or the Xbox Series, you'll be able to play with both players. And yes, as I mentioned earlier, there is a wipe for the PC players, but the accompanying update will add base walker packers, improve to structures, a rebalance for multiple types of gear and vehicles, better climbing animations, and plenty more. And really quick, we got one article from GameRant.com, and for those of you who still play Pokemon Go, I know it had a spike in popularity, but I really don't know a whole lot of players that are still playing it. But if you do, luckily for you, a level 40 cap is on its way. In another MMORPG that I thought I wouldn't really cover that much, we go on to MMORPG.com for the first article here, and it says that KurtzPel's PvE revamp lets you quest and explore dungeons. And it goes on to read that KurtzPel's PvE will be going through an entire overhaul with a new PvE dungeons, allowing players to experience Althrisa? Oh man, I'm totally butchering that name. I do apologize. In a whole new way. So from reading this article, I got the impression that this is pretty much a brand new game, but only with regards to the PvE aspect of the game, as it says here, that the changes are all PvE exclusive, meaning that they will not affect PvP, ensuring that balance can be individually tailored. And in the next article, it says that Blizzard previews professions ahead of Shadowlands release. And it goes on to read that if you have a character who's gathered professions in Battle of Azeroth, you may notice that these star ranks have been removed. Blizzard assures us not to worry here, as apparently we'll gain more harvest materials as we increase our skill. Consumables from previous expansions make a return in Shadowlands as well. For example, Leatherworks can make you armor kits which can increase stamina for chest gear for 2 hours. There are some new things as well. Optional reagents are one of them. These are ingredients which can be used when crafting armor, weapons, and jewelry. And lastly, if your character has tailoring, leatherworking, blacksmithing, or jewel crafting professions, you'll receive a recipe to create base pieces, which is part of the Rune Carver storyline. storyline. And really quick, if you were looking forward to the Elder Scrolls Online's next event, you're going to have to wait just a little bit longer. And it says here that Elder Scrolls Online Undaunted celebration moved to December 3rd. Good news to all the EVE Online fans out there, especially if you are a content creator. And in their next article, it says that CCP Games announced EVE Online Partnership Program. And it goes on to read that the program is open to various kinds of content creators, including streamers, bloggers, podcasters, and more. Partners will receive benefits like free monthly Plex, exclusive partner skins, opportunities to chat with the developers, and a chance to be promoted on official CCP channels. I will admit this next news kind of caught me off guard. I didn't really think A3 would have the success that it has now, but I'm definitely glad that I'm proven wrong. And in their next article, it says that A3 Still Alive sees over 1 million downloads in its first week. And admittedly, it's a pretty interesting RPG, but not necessarily my cup of tea. From what I can remember, they're really focusing on PvP and competition and multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. So again, not really my thing, but if that's something that you are looking forward to or something that you prefer, then definitely try to give A3 a chance and let me know down in the comment section below how you like it. And lastly, we got one article from Gematsu.com, and this is for all you Animal Crossing fans out there, as New Horizons versions 1.6.0 update is now available. And in this update, it includes 2 seasonal events, Turkey Day and Toy Day. Also, the increase of capacity for your homes has been added as well. And they also added a new feature for transferring saved data between different systems, as well as the ability so that Luna can now offer random dream destinations. And that wraps up today's episode of MMO and RPG News Updates. I really do appreciate it if you made it with me so far. And if you feel as though I have earned your subscription, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification icon right next to it. And I would tremendously appreciate that. I hope everybody's staying warm out there. Hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.